Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome. Happy Monday to you too, Laura. Should call this Stormcast Mondays. Yes. Afternoon, Mark. Rock Golem. Edward 705. Hulk Tube. Ricky Colebrook. Vicious Goose. Philip G. Roads are all iced in here, but we got moved into our new home. Congratulations. And ended up in the ER last night for pretty bad bruised foot. Just my luck. Oh, Philip, I'm so sorry that happened. Hello, Gretchen. Mato Automato. What a beautiful man. Stop it, Rez. My hair is particularly curly today after stepping out of the shower. Doesn't normally do that. I look vaguely like I'm wearing a Lord of the Rings wig. And I'm not against it. Hey Yayi, I'm doing very well, thank you. Aloha from Hawaii. Hello Castle Rock. It's going well, thank you, Laura. Hello Captain Mamrings. You are absolutely the person who delivers the finest compliments. Good afternoon, Stuart. I need to turn this music down in my head a little bit. It's a little bit loud. There we go. I hope you are all doing well. It's Me Time Mondays. We're back. Now, remind me later. Just as a quick FYI, the last couple of days I've been working on this, and just before we gone live, I was doing the gold. So I am going to finish that off before I get onto the Stormcast. But here it is. The Necrolith Bone Dragon. It's been a while. And some of you may have noticed on this screen we're up to 25 models painted, including this one. So this is 25, this is number 25. Obviously the Tomb prints, we've already put the video out for that. I painted 2 Iron Striders. Finished 2 Iron Striders for a good friend of mine, Klaas. And of course we did Alariel the Ever Titan. And I have also finished 20 Skeleton Warriors. So that's fun, isn't it? And yes, the dragon is huge. It's absolutely enormous, which is why it's taking so long to paint. It's been a complicated one, this one. For anyone who wants to have a size comparison, we need a Space Marine for that, really. Space Marine's always a good arbiter. There he is. My comparison Space Wolf. That's how big he is. in comparison to Comparison Wolf. So yeah. Oh, nice, Daniel. Are you having a nice holiday? I won't be surprised if you have to do some Deathwing in the near future. Maybe, Philip. We'll see what happens. I think at minimum I would like to do Belial as a video. I think he would be quite fun. Where did I get to? I was doing him. Oh right, yes, I'm on the front here. So I'm using Liberator Gold at the moment to do a highlight and a relayer in certain places. So like areas like this, we're relayering them, but for like the trim and stuff, we're just highlighting them. Now the issue with painting a model of this size is bracing your hands is a lot difficult. Because you can either brace them right down here, or you brace them on the actual model. But the challenge with something of this size and this spindliness is he's not exactly very secure for balancing your hand on. So you tend to just like end up being on like bits like his head, for example. You see how bouncy that is? Which can be really uncomfortable. So let me get in a little bit closer. I'll bring the mic around. Or you could just paint more of the old world minis. Well, yeah. It always depends on what Games Workshop sends me. And as we discovered with the old world, is if UPS wants to send it to me on time. So if Games Workshop does send me the Deathwing, I will paint some Deathwing and Belial. And if not, I won't. As there's nothing I can do about it. And it's definitely not stressing me out. Because I ordered something from Firestorm Games that was supposed to turn up for today, and that also hasn't turned up. So I wanted to build the rest of those Vindictors. And then also build some Annihilators. And then once those are done, I'll just need to procure the Retributors and build some Quest to Soulsworn, and then I'm ready to paint some Hallowed Knights. But it hasn't transpired that way. But as always, if you could please leave a like on the stream, That would be very nice. Together we can defeat the YouTube algorithm. And we can get this channel to 100,000 subscribers. And then I will cry for like 4 hours. I'll feel like Frodo at the end of The Return of the King. I'll finally remember the Shire. And the taste of strawberries and cream. Cool, that'll do for the headdress. Good evening, Renee. Thank you to the Discord for helping me pick an AOS faction today, especially Jack. Oh, awesome, what did you pick? I haven't read it. Good evening, Chris. Welcome. Glad to have you. First time catching a stream. So for all this big jewelry here, we're just relayering it as well. Because life's too short. If you spent as much time as I have with this model, you just you start to just kind of give up a little bit. If you guys are really lucky as well, and you're really nice, I found some music of mine from when I was from my first ever band, from when I was the tender age of 16. So from 16 years ago. No, longer. 17 years ago. The first forays into music. If you guys are really lucky, I'll play you some of that. You can hear very young Josh. And then all that will remain is the music I made at university. And then it will be a case of, if you want to hear more, I'll have to write more or just perform live. Alice suggested earlier today that that I should do it and take requests, and I was like, yes, but theoretically that works, but you know someone will request some Tool or something, which I definitely can't play. And then everyone will be disappointed in me that I can't play Tool. Oh, very nearly there with the gold. So this guy will get finished tonight. To be available for Thursday's video. Because I'm not that far away from doing it now. Then it's just a small matter of doing the other 70 miniatures in that box. Do you varnish your minis? No, I don't, Zephyrin. I don't have time. I'm generally just, you know, quite careful with them. I don't have particularly oily hands either, which is one thing I'm blessed with as well, so I generally don't have to worry about making them all greasy or rubbing the paint off. Though I know that that's not the case for everybody. Nearly there, guys, and then I'll be able to properly chat with you. It's just the last bit of work for the afternoon, which I know isn't very me time Mondays, but like I said, I didn't want to just leave the gold half finished because it would upset me later on when I then had to come back and do it. I'm in a gold highlighting frame of mind. There we go. All done. Is it better in person or still bad? Is what better in person? Ugh. Still working but should have finished. Oh, that sucks. Hey, Exian Power. Whoa. Right. Gold is all done on that. As in, does it look better in person because my paint job looks bad, or? I'm sorry if it looks shit. Right, this box. He's been a Do UK lids stay attached when opened? Yep. Annoyingly. I am attached to recycle together. Oh, you guys are crushing it. 31 likes already. Oh, it's not a bad model. It looks lovely. It is a lovely model. It's just it's been a pain in the ass to put together and paint. But once it's done, it'll look fantastic. I mean, I think it's looking pretty good already. I just gotta finish it, you know. He's been an experience. Yeah, it's weird, Werewolf 40k. It is really annoying. It doesn't make drinking it very easy, because you end up with this thing. So it's like, can you just like do a sports cap, which then obviously would make it really uncomfortable to drink. Okay, we're now onto the me time part of things. So now we can just sit and talk, guys. We can talk about our thoughts and our feelings. If we're lucky and I get through these 4 Stormcast, I will also put together these Citadel Guard. I'm looking for my knife and my mold line remover. There's my mold line remover, there's my knife. Excellent. Okay, next up it's 22 and 23. Okay, I think that's the unusable pile because we've already done half of this unit, but we've done 6 of them out of the 10. So this one's the next one. Oh, feels nice to be working on a newer kit now. Building the old world stuff really gave me an appreciation for how things are designed these days. I'm a big fan of a slightly newer, more modern kit. Also, if anybody has any spare Guard of the Fountain Court, please do let me know. Because I would love to finish accumulating my Minas Tirith army so that I can do a clearing the backlog video. For them, because I've got a pile of Warriors of Minas Tirith to do. I've got the Knights of Minas Tirith to do. I've got these Citadel Guard. I've got Ingold and Huron the Tall to do. Gandalf the White. Peregrine Took, Guard of the Citadel. So that would be part of the Gandalf video. Oh, Cameron, you're so very welcome. I don't like the idea of you holed up with your broken elbow. Oh, you got a headache? Oh, I'm sorry, Lord Inquisitor. Are we all feeling a little bit under the weather today? Where the Orc Breaker boss be at? So that's one of my. That's going to be part of this series. Is doing the rest of my Grand Alliance Destruction army. So it will come. I have one. It's in the cupboard. I will be accumulating a couple more orcs. For that very purpose. But right now, I'm focused on doing the Hallowed Knights. Yeah, 30 quid on eBay is quite expensive. I mean, I can just wait, you know. Oh, thanks, Guitarra. That's very kind of you. How are you, buddy? You alright? Evening, Stoogie. A real strong urge to start a Valhallan Ice Warriors army, but I know it'll take some converting spelling I don't want to do, really. Oh, I'm with you. Just spreading the love. It's very kind of you, buddy. I appreciate your love. Oosh. What do we need here? Component 25 and 26. That's this one. $25 and 26. Also, just want to say, Last Tale of Many Warhipsters was an incredible stream, thanks in no small part to James and Werewolf 40k and everybody who dropped a pile of gifted members. And you know, I'm still reeling a little bit from that one. But it has genuinely been like last time. It was awesome to do season 1, but this time it's been bigger and better than the previous season, and as you know, everything I could have hoped for. And I've really appreciated you guys supporting and taking part in that series, because it's one of my favorite things to produce on YouTube. And I'm really excited to get it concluded and to see what happens in season 3. I have to come up with some more harebrained schemes to make it even bigger. We are 1 down. On Saturday, my girlfriend literally dropped an ancient tree lord on my paint desk and said, "Do this for me, please," and walked away with no paint scheme or direction. I took the gobsprack tree. I mean, kudos to you. That's also awesome. Do you paint a specific storm host? I've got 3 that I'm building. So I'm doing Hammers of Sigmar, Hallowed Knights, and Celestial Vindicators. I want to get each 3 of them up to 2,000 points. Then I'll have 6,000 points. Plus 2,000 points of generic characters, because I've got Krondys, Karazai, I've got the Black Talons, and I want to add a few more here and there, so like Night Questers and things like that, who can then be plugged and played into any army. And that leaves me in a really good position to either do a 4th Storm Host, or to take one of those up to 4,000 when the next wave of Stormcast comes, courtesy of AOS 4. Because I freaking love Stormcast Eternals. Any tips on how to improve edge highlighting? I always seem to get really thick highlights even with the side of my brush. You might be that you need to thin your paint down either a little bit more or a little bit less. Because sometimes that is what can affect the size of your highlight. So if it's too thin, it has to go somewhere, because it's really wet paint. The trick is getting the thinness of it down to the right kind of consistency. It doesn't have to be as thin as you would be if you were applying a normal base coat, because a normal base coat you're going to be going over flat areas, whereas you should just be picking out the edges. And the other thing is to watch your angles. It might be that you just need to put a little bit more of an angle on it. And Cameron says there, brush pressure too. Yeah, so applying too much pressure through your brush, as in like pressing down too much, will cause it to splurt out over the edges a little bit more. So it's like with applying contrast, you want to kind of glide across the surface of it. So you want to, if I demonstrate here, let's use a bigger brush so it actually makes sense. Let's use this one. Cool. So if you're doing this edge highlight, for example, you want to just come across the edge like that. So you see how let me see if I can zoom the camera. Let's just go like right in like this. So that's so if you're say you're going to edge highlight like a I need let's use this remote. That'll do. Right, okay. So say you're going to edge highlight this remote. You want to not have too much paint on your brush, and you want to go across the edge like this. So you're just gliding across the surface. Whereas if you apply too much pressure, and you see that kind of thing start to happen with your bristles, that's how you end up with a slightly wider highlight. You see, like my bristles aren't spraying. You just want to glide like that. And again, as everybody said, don't kind of overload the brush too much. Don't thin it down too much. Just that and the other. Practice on a sprue edge. Yeah, that's a great example. Sprue edges are really good. Even just like, I think I covered this in one of my in a video about the one where I do the thinning of the paints and stuff. That one, we talk about it. Good evening, Adam. Hey, Nevi. Hey, Josh. New FEC book has a pic of a Morgaunt Royal Terrorgeist. What colour are his wings? Just the flesh terrors with a heavy scrag brown highlights? That's a great question. Where is my Flesh Eater Quartz book? It was here. I don't know where it is. I'll go and look for it in a little bit, and I'll see if I can give you an answer on that one. Let me look up a picture though. Morgaunt Royal Terrorgeist. I don't know where the book is. It might be around the corner. Hold on. Let me see if I can. Let me see if it is where I think it is. It is not where I thought it was. It's not there either. Well, that's confusing. I'm going to have to look for that book later. But I would probably do the same thing as the... I would use the same thing as the Gore Warden from that video that I did. That's confusing to me. Thank you for the detailed answer. I'll check out the video you mentioned as well. A lot of other people would tell me to practice and get good. I mean, there's an element of practice makes perfect, right? But there's a number of different things you can try and account for to help you get along the right track. I'm really confused as to where that book has gone. It's here somewhere. It's not behind that, is it? No. It's not in here. No. Who knows? Anyway. Right, next. We've got 3 more of these to do. I'm going to try some Black Legion on my direwolf skin. Do you think it needs thinning down or go straight on? I don't think it needs thinning down. What you could always do, if you check out my video on how to paint Morbeg Knights for the Flesh Eater Courts, that's probably how I would do Dire Wolves for the Soul Black Gravelords. You got a shout out on Liam Dempsey's chat with the painting phase. Get yourself on. I'll try. They've got to invite me. I'm not in the habit of asking for things. It's all up to them. If they want me on, I will happily go on. Again, that's confidence. Confidence that I don't have. It's probably why there aren't that many sponsorships on the channel, because I don't ask for things. I would rather people ask me, because I'm too nervous to ask myself. I love your stuff. Could I please make a video about it? No. Okay. And then that goes in here, allegedly. You'd think I'd remember having done this exact same thing a week ago, but I do not. Ow. Oh, 14 and 13. Two legs go together. Hi, I'm painting Lumineth Wardens with your tutorial right now. Thank you so much for your help. Oh, you're very welcome. You'll bring balance to Warhammer, not leave it in darkness. Hang on a minute. Why are we talking about the S word so early in a stream? What is tricky about building the new old world minis? Have you had to do much gap filling with green stuff on your Tomb Kings? No, I haven't had to do much gap filling. Mostly because I never do it anyway, because life's too short for me. The thing that's tricky about them is that they're really old. So they're just, it's all models designed from a bygone era that are designed for a different type of Warhammer. And what I mean by that is, as an example, building these Stormcast, for example, when you build a box of 10 Vindictors, whilst they are troops, each one is as detailed and as dynamic and as posable, but also it's been engineered in such a way that it goes together much more smoothly and much nicer, to the point of it's more like a hero miniature, right? So, like, you can review each model build, for example, if you wanted to. You could do Stormcast A, Stormcast B, based on how difficult it is to put together. So like this one, for example, the legs are in two pieces, which is more of an annoying build than one that's just in a set of legs or a full body. So you could say, hey, this one's a little bit more complicated. Watch out for this one because you've got the legs to do, and it's got a slightly spindly push fit point here. So, or you know, that particular component is quite difficult to trim out. Whereas with the Tomb Kings, you get 4 spears that are exactly the same. You get 4 bodies that are exactly the same. You get 4 sets of legs that are slightly different, but they're fundamentally all exactly the same. So you know what you're getting with the components, but you're building 40 of them at once. And it's at that point you have to realize you're not building these model by model, you're building them unit by unit. And that is a completely different experience to what we have now. You don't build, generally, with Games Workshop instructions these days, you wouldn't build, particularly in the example of these Vindictors, I know these are push fit, but you wouldn't build all the bodies and then go back and do all of the arms. You would just get them all out at once and do the whole thing at once. And that's, you know, that's the thing. Jace Griffin has gifted $9.99. It's a super chat for $9.99. Thank you so much, Jace. Hey, Warhipster, just started watching your videos and my minis look great. Just had a few questions. Will you be painting any more Tyranids anytime soon? Would love a video on Tyrant Guard / Warriors. We can certainly look at doing some more Tyranids in this this stream series. There are some more things I need to finish up, like the Pyrovore, the Termagants, the Gene Stealers, the Lictor. I've got to do all of those things. They are yet to be finished. So I will look at doing that, and then what I'll do is I'll look at how many points the Tyranids collection I have is, and if it's not far off, I'll add some more stuff to it. And it could be something like Tyrant Guard or Hive Guard or Warriors or a couple of big bugs and things like that. Get it to 2,000 points, and then that's a finished army. And then I can either hold on to it or I can move it on as a prize for someone else. Hey, Mikhail. AOS greater than Old World. I do agree. Edward has gifted one of the finest Warhipster memberships. Thank you so much, buddy. That's very kind of you. Taking us one step closer to our goal of 969. And eventually 1,000. A 1,000 members would be bonkers, you know. It's thoroughly undeserved, from my perspective. Hello, Warhipster. I've been following your vlogs for a while and find your painting style amazing. I use base paints and layer paints for most of my figures, along with the occasional contrast paint. Awesome. Oh, something got trapped in my throat then. Quick question. When are you doing your video on Eisenhorn? Looking forward to seeing that. I'm going to be doing that soon, Zap. Zap Brannigan. Excellent name, by the way. It's going to be soon. I'm waiting for a gap in my to-do list, either this month or next month. I've earmarked him for a video. A painting video, sure, but also a kind of a video essay, which might be like 3 or 4 hours long, with lots of different models being painted in it. Trust me, it's going to be a cool video. I think it is anyway. Okay, how the hell does this work? I don't remember this being difficult last time. Oh yeah, it's really not. Has there been any tutorial for beast snaggers for orcs? There's been one live stream where I painted a beast snagger. I do have a pile of them to do for Adam. So that, again, that is just something that we are going to get done this year. Because I want to clear so much stuff this year. So it will happen. Do you go on there like that? Nope. Apparently not. Yes, you do. Awesome. Would love to see some more Tyranid videos. I'm sure we can get them done. Thanks for a good answer. I'm quite new to the hobby and I ordered the Tomb King's core box. I've just painted some Lord of the Rings before. I guess it will be a different experience with the skeletons. Yeah, so I think if you've done Lord of the Rings, you are going to be more prepared for the Tomb Kings, because there's a lot less components to build some Tomb Kings, right? So what you have is, so for the Skeleton Warriors, right? So for this guy, let's just go with this one right here. So on this one, you have the shield, you have the arm, you have the spear arm, you have the head, and you have the body. Now, the thing to watch out for with these, and I do have a video on building these coming. The thing to watch out for with these is it's all old ball joints that aren't particularly flush. So when you're building them, if you're building them model by model, it's going to be a nightmare because it won't dry in time for you. If you're building them component by component, it makes much more sense. So you do all of the legs for your unit, so 20 legs, get them all cleaned up, get them stuck to the bases. And then by the time you've done all 20 of them, you can go back and do the 20 bodies. So you can clip out the 20 bodies, get them all cleaned up, and then start sticking them on, and so on and so forth. Because it gives that glue enough time to dry. Because for the Tomb Kings, everything's really spindly, and they're really old. It's not like, for example, if we compare, this is a Death Rattle skeleton. This is a Skeleton Warrior. Now this guy, he is in a few components, but fundamentally, the entirety of this back joint, pretty much, is one piece. And then you glue a leg in and an arm in, and you glue the shield on, or maybe you don't, or whatever. This is much easier to build than this is when you're building them en masse. Because you can build these one at a time. These you have to build 20 at a time. So it takes longer to get all 20 done. Gonna be brave and do a Drake. Any suggestions for a good starter Storm Drake Guard? I've got a couple of videos you could do on Storm Drake Guard. We've got Blue Eyes White Dragon, Black Eyes Red Dragon. We've got that sort of grey bluey one. You could even use the Ionis Cryptborn recipe to paint him. I finally started to have consistent smooth finishes on different textures. I'm so happy. Couldn't achieve without your guidance, Josh. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm so pleased to hear that, Yai. That's awesome. What's the reason in spraying the Tomb Kings white instead of Grey Seer or Wraithbone? Grey Seer is too dark. Wraithbone is too warm. So White Scar is the brightest out of the three of them, and it's also the most neutral. So I wanted, because if you do them Wraithbone, it'll come out really warm and almost too cartoony, and the models are pretty goofy anyway because they're from a long time ago. So if you put them over Wraithbone, they'll come out even goofier than they already look. So White Scar, the reason I went for White Scar is because it's neutral and it's brighter. So it means you can bring it down easier than you can bring it back up, because you don't want to sit and line highlight 93 skeletons to bring them back up. You want to come down from bright to make things easier on yourself. That's why I went for White Scar. Good evening, Chapter Master Joe. Or Krondis recipe or Karazai recipe. Yeah, I've got loads of dragons. Or bone dragons. Can you show one of your typical bases for your Stormcasts? I am interested in how prolific painters do army-sized bases. Yeah, I can. Give me 1 second. Let me finish this Stormcast and then I'll grab you one. This Vindictor. So glad you're doing Stormcast. I've recently started getting into iOS. Chapter Master Joe, you've made the right choice. You going to the classic look or making your own colour scheme? So these ones in particular are going to be for the Hallowed Knights, which is silver and gold. If you'd like a preview of how I painted those, you can check out a couple of different Hallowed Knights videos I've done on the channel. So I've done one for Vindictors, I've done one for the Knight Judicator, and I've done one for Garda Steel Soul. What's this? 20 and 21. Yes. $20 and 21. Hey, Daz. I'm doing very well, thank you, buddy. How are you? Do you know what I'm really hoping we get in the next run? I'm hoping we get a Liberator, a Knight Liberator. Because we got the Knight Judicator. And I thought, oh, this is sick. Knight Judicator, that gives me an indicator that we're going to get Knight Liberators. Knight Prosecutors, maybe. That type of thing. I thought that was really cool. And then it didn't happen. So I'm hoping we're going to get a Knight Judicator or something like that in the next edition. Because if you read the Stormcast novels, they've always got like, there's always like some Prosecutor Prime or something that is just leagues of power above what everybody else it actually is. What the Judicators are, but like you'll have things like a Liberator Prime leading entire cohorts of Stormcast. Where is my... I need just the one Stormcast man, actually. Where the hell is it? Okay, yeah. That one will do. Oh. So, Stormcast bases. All it is I use Stirland Battlemire, or in this case Stirland Mud, and then I dry brush it with Tyrant Skull, and then I add some tufts, and these are a mixture of mixed green tufts from Gamer's Grass, and the little 2mm tiny dry green tufts. So if you want to see exactly how I do it, I can go and grab you the little 60-second video short that I did for that exact recipe. This one. Shush. Shush me. So here you go. Who is it that asked the question? Do the Hallowed Knights have any iconic unit to them? God, a still soul. Where is the question about bases? I can't see it. Anyway, here is the video. Are Stormcasts even fun to play? They absolutely are. Werewolf 40k, you were the one who asked, of course. There we go, I found your question. First time on a stream, do you have any tips for contrast very dark blue? I've been trying to do the original recipe, but it's too many steps, and I'd like to find an easier way. How dark are we talking? Getting there, man. Was only thinking today a catch-up is well overdue. Oh, I couldn't agree more, Daz. In regards to dark blue, I'm looking at Void Trident's Space Marines. Okay. Void Trident's Space Marines. Oh, it's a very, very dark blue. Oh, you know what? For that kind of dark blue, check out what's it called? That's it. So if you check out, not that, mute you. For that exact dark blue, if you check out the that video, the Black Talons, if you check out the cloak of her name is I can't remember her name, the one with the eagle, that's the blue right there. What's the difference of Signs of the Storm and Stormkeep? So Signs of the Storm lets you teleport your guys to the battlefield. Pretty much anyone can be teleported to the battlefield using Signs of the Storm. Stormkeep gives you a, I want to say 5-up ward with Redeemer units. So these guys and Liberators, if they are holding an objective. I think is it, especially in 1, 2, and 3. And Reza says, shoo! They tend to focus on the Redeemer units, so basic battle line, Liberators, Vindictors. Yeah. Their main thing is, I think they get extra. I can't remember exactly what their rule is. I think they get an extra attack or something like that. They get exploding 6s if they charge. Something like that. At this point in time, there aren't any, like, if we're going to draw a Space Marine analogy, there aren't anything like Sanguinary Guard for specific Storm hosts yet. I don't think we'll ever get there. I don't think that'll happen, and I hope it doesn't, because it's nice that everything can be used by everything in the Stormcast book. And I believe there was a question there as well. Which is your favourite, 40k or AOS, and why? AOS is my favourite, hands down, out of the two, because the models are just so much better. There's so much more potential at this point in time for the story, for things to go somewhere, and they constantly keep it fresh and exciting, you know, with their model releases. They just go, hey, we're going to do this new faction here, and there is a reason to do it, right? So like it just appears because functionally the mortal realms are limitless. There's no boundary on any of them, but also we haven't explored all of them yet. So we haven't been anywhere near Ulgu, which is the Realm of Shadow, which is where Malarian hangs out. So there's like entire factions and things that can be brought in, and there's a narrative reason to do so. Whereas with 40k, you can't really do that, because if they keep going, there's this planet, right, and they've not been able to get to it for ages because of all these warp storms, and inside the planet this alien race has evolved. You can't keep doing that with 40k. And so more recently 40k has just kind of been redesigning its old models and updating its model range, which, you know, you can like that or lump that. I personally lump that. I don't endorse that. But I feel like 40k is very kind of stuck in its ways at the minute, and I would like something big to happen in the setting to entice me back into getting excited to build and paint armies for it. Because right now I just feel like I'm not getting anything new from 40k. It's all the same old stuff. Whereas with AOS, I at least feel like things are kept fresh and exciting, and also there's just more potential in the game. But fundamentally, from my perspective as somebody who plays secondary now and paints more primarily as my enjoyment of the hobby, I want to paint the best models, and the best models are not in 40k at the moment. And you know, these things are move in cycles, right? So I fully anticipate 40k to make a big splash at some point with something cool, but at the moment they're just not. For me, they're just not doing anything particularly new or exciting or innovative in that space, and that's fine. But that's not what I want. Where do you go? Apparently you go in here. Werewolf 40k has gifted 5 of the finest Warhipster memberships. Like an absolute don. Thank you very much, Werewolf 40k. I will update the tracker in just a moment. I didn't take any of that flash off. That was very silly of me. Okay, well. That puts us on a lovely 832. Dark Elf Core Faction 2024. Yeah, I think it's coming. 40k needs another Space Hulk / Blackstone Fortress style release. I couldn't agree more. 40k needs something to shake it out of this we're redesigning models phase that it's in. It just needs something to take my breath away. And it just isn't doing that at the moment. And that's fine. That's, you know, that is what it is. It's like, you know, what do we know that's coming for 40k? Well, Belial, okay. Asmodai, okay. Deathwing Knights, sure. And Deathwing Terminators, which are just the Terminators with some extra robes. Which is the kit we've already got from Leviathan. So, you know, fine. It is what it is. Did they need updating to be in line with a newer scale? Yeah. Do I want to see it? No. And then you look at, like, the Necrons. Necrons had the Imhotep, which is a redesign. We had Oracan, which is a redesign. And then the cool one out of those three was the Translocation Shroud guy. Because he's new. And that's really cool. You go in here, I think. That does feel a little backloaded. Maybe it is meant to be that backloaded. I just don't know. No, it isn't. I'm confused by this. It feels like it needs to go like there, but the hex doesn't match up. But it's definitely not there. It's definitely not like that. Maybe it just is like that. I don't like it though. See, now why is that better? That's just weird. That's better. Beardhammer, Wargaming, thank you very much for becoming a member. That's very kind of you. Been looking at picking up Nighthorns as my first AOS faction. Only recently got into the Warhammer 40 hobby, but enjoying it so far. That sounds sick, Doug. I endorse that decision. Yeah, I could TN trash, but that to me feels like more work than I'm willing to put in. Kroot mechs. Yeah, so look, the Kroot are a great example, okay? We have seen a silhouette of a potential new Kroot model, right? And it looks like a Kroot riding a big Kroot. And that's all good. Right? I'm here for that. That sounds lovely. That sounds great. Now, here's the question. Are we going to get redesigned Kroot Warriors, redesigned Kroot Hounds, and redesigned Krootoks? Or are we going to get those things plus like 2 or 3 other cool things, or maybe 1 or 2 other new things? Because right now the balance is off. If it's just redesigned versions of resin kits, then fine. But it doesn't excite me. Looking to add some Aspect Warriors to my Ulthway army. Do you reckon I should give them the black Ulthway scheme or stick with their individual colourful armour schemes? That's a great question. I like the bright colours, but I've seen Ulthway schemes done really nicely, all black and bone. I guess for me, from my perspective, it's like, you know, which one would you prefer? I think it would look awesome as all black. But then again, I also really like the colourful ones. I would look it up on the internet and see if anyone's got any finished Ulthway army projects, and then kind of judge it based on which one you think would look the best. The other thing as well is the are the Ulthway guys, so like the Guardians and Storm Guardians and vehicles and things, are they going to massively outnumber the amount of Aspect Warriors you have? Or are Aspect Warriors going to outnumber the amount of Guardians you have? If you had a plan, say. So say you were going to do like 30 Storm Guardians for it, for example. And that was it. Maybe a couple of Wave Serpents. If the majority of your army is going to be black and bone, adding a little bit of colour isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it would really enhance the scheme if you do some of the colourful ones. Whereas if it's going to be, I'm going to have 30 Striking Scorpions, 30 Howling Banshees, 30 Dark Reapers, I'd probably just paint them in the brightly coloured ones. Very kind of you to give us so much excellent content. Oh, it's very kind of you, Beardhammer. It's very, very kind of you. We need number 8. Number 8? Component number 8. Number 8? But Eric Kamano, sorry. Thank you very much for becoming a member. Did I update? We've had 8 new members. I don't think I updated Beardhammer, so I'm going to put them both in. Thank you very much for becoming a member. That's very kind of you. There you go, Lord Billy. Lord Billy got it. Number 8. You started your Blood Angels last week. Your Blood Angles last week. Specifically the Blood Angles. Think of going Guardian and Wraith heavy with a sprinkling of Aspect Warriors. Yeah, I'd probably go for all black and bone. I think that would look sick. What purple would you say Legio Zestobiax is? I don't know. Let me look it up. Legio Zestobiax. Images. Are there any examples? Oh, it's quite a lovely dark purple. It's probably Nagaroth Knight, so the most analogous colour to that in contrast is Shaiish Purple. But Shaiish Purple is a pain in the arse, so if you're going to do Shaiish Purple over it, I would then have some Nagaroth Knight on standby so that you can glaze over the panels to get them nice and dark, is probably what I would do. Yeah. Yeah, so that's the thing, Jacob, is Shaiish Purple is a temperamental mistress. It'll either come out really black, or it comes out with that like kind of winey colour, as in wine, which is really nice colour. So you either thin it down just to improve its flow a little bit to make it easier to control, or just have some Nagaroth Knight on standby just to thin that down with sort of 5 or 6 parts water, and use that to glaze over the top of it just to smooth out any kind of inconsistencies or punch up the colour. Got a big project for this month's Tale of Many Warhipsters. Conic, are you painting a Titan? Are you about to whack out your Warhound Titan? I'm thinking of doing Bretonnian Foot Knights as Graveguard. What head swap or other simple conversion tactics could I use to emphasise them being dead boys? So, I'd recommend getting like a drill or something, like a hobby drill. And that way you can add some pittedness to their armour and stuff like that. So that's the first thing that you need to do. Because, like, again, if we look at, like, this guy, for example. So you look at this one. You see those kind of circular holes in the armour? That's where you kind of want it to rust away a little bit. That will help you. Another thing to look at doing is either green stuffing trails like this onto cloaks and stuff, or making them a little bit more ragged, so carving bits out of their cloth. That'll help you. That kind of thing. Hey, Mike's Painted Minis. Not quite a Titan, but the next level down. Ooh. A Knight Porphyrion. I'm excited. I'm excited to see it, Conic. Have you played the Rogue Trader CRPG? No, not yet. My buddy asked me to paint some Space Marines in a purple and gold, and I ran a lead belcher base spray, used his Shai's purple, and he didn't like the outcome. Kind of hurt my fifis. Ugh, that's not nice. I'm sorry. Mahalo for all your great content. Legitimately has made painting more fun. Looking forward to a Deathwing Strike Box series. I got half an army finished that's going to be all Deathwing and Forgiven. Well, Eric, I'll see what I can do for you. I shall try my best to procure the box. There's one more I need to build. I think it's this Lady Stormcast here, because it's the other version of the Prime. This one, yeah, 30. Bosh. $30. $29. Boop, 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 boop. 29. 31. Bosh. I'm excited. I'm excited for my Hallowed Knights. They're shaping up quite nicely. Like I said, I need to buy a box of Retributors. I can't seem to find them anywhere. Well, each time I look, they appear to be out of stock everywhere, which is annoying. Boo, boo, boo. Okay, head goes in here. Nice and simple. So I'll be able to prime these this week, and we'll be able to paint some next week if doing more Stormcast next week is what takes my fancy. It probably will. Unless the Annihilators arrive, in which case I will build them up. I'll see if I can get some. I'll keep hunting for the Retributors. Because I've got the Quest to Soulsworn to do as well. And I've got them. I got them in stock. They're here in the flat. And then you go in here. Oh yeah. Then we need component 34. Um, 34. We're nearly there. Nearly there with this. You guys are getting to experience how long it takes me to build stuff, which is, I guess, a good thing. Aha! See, that feels way more sensible, so we're going to do that. That feels way more sensible, so we're going to do that. My family and I live on Oahu. I hope I said that right. Terribly sad what's happening in Lahaina. I was thinking of doing a warlord tribute with my friend. Oh no, what's happening? I'm not up to date on current events. Hey, Adam. Doug McSwain, Werewolf 40k, how do I join? As in become a member? Or join Werewolf 40k? How are you, Adam? Are you okay? Big love for Hallowed Knights. I chose them purely because of the Goddess model. Goddess Steel Soul. Who shall be victorious? Only the faithful! There was a bad wildfire in Lahaina, Maui months ago that destroyed the town. Oh, man. Oh, that sucks. That's really awful. Hey, Daniel. Hey, go for it, painting. I'm just ignoring both you and Rez, Adam. I am bursting to see you take on Bretonnian cavalry. Loved your Tomb King video. Werewolf 40k, thank you very much for the 5. Josh, can you explain how to become a member of the channel and join the Discord? That question came up in chat. Absolutely, I can. So give me 1 second. So, one way that you can do it is if you're on a PC. You go to, if you're on the stream right now, in fact, underneath the chat window, there should be a little like $sign, show your support for Warhipster. If you click on that, it should give you the option to become a member there. The other option that you can do is if I go to here and I go to that one. This is going to look really weird. So if you're on here, if you click on so you go to my channel, youtube.com/warhipster, there should be a join button somewhere around here. You can't see it because I'm me, so it's my channel, which is annoying. There should be a join button there. Alternatively, you can just wait and see if someone will, if you'll get caught by the gifted machine. If you go to, so if you go to, if I put that back on, if you then want to become a member, you then click on see perks here. I think if I do that, it will show up the link. Hang on. I don't want to show the link off because yeah, because otherwise people will be able to just use the link. And it's a member exclusive. If you're on the mobile, it'll be there as well. I've now lost the chat. Where's it gone? Oh, there you are. I lost you for a moment. Currently painting my Troglodon with the colour scheme you used for your Agrodon Lancers. Oh, that sounds sick. I do love you, really. Alternatively, you can head over to patreon.com/warhipster. If you become a member on Patreon, you also get access to the Discord. One, two, three, and 4. My custom Stormcast are based in Lead Belcher with Carabird Crimson Volupus Pink trimmed in Retributor armor. Oh, that sounds gorgeous. Like a metallic, what are they called? Celestial Warbringers. Oh, I haven't even done the bloody shield arm. Come on now, Josh. 35. What's your preference, Patreon or YouTube? I have no preference. It's whatever anybody else feels comfortable doing, really. I conduct most of the business in the Discord anyway. 35 and 39. So yeah, it's really kind of up to you guys. I almost turned on Instagram memberships for the same thing, but I couldn't see any way to get benefits on there other than like being able to see pictures that I post exclusively for members. And I was like, no, that's not a reason to monetize that platform. Because, you know, I don't post anywhere near as much on Instagram as I used to. And I really should, because, you know, Instagram is kind of where this whole thing started. But at the same time, like, YouTube has just been my main focus. Because it's where I can make the most impactful content. On Instagram, my Instagram has become more of a kind of advertising channel, really, for this YouTube channel. It's just I did it the other way around, because it was painting stuff and putting it on Instagram that was how I kind of gained a little bit of confidence in order to make a YouTube channel in the first place, because that was where I was getting asked all those questions about how on earth are you using those contrast paints, you witch? And I was like, this is how. But you can't put up a 20-minute video on Instagram. Well, you can, but it looks rubbish. It's also just annoying. And nobody uses Instagram for that purpose, so... What is this? That is a rock. In you go. That is a skull. Are you just going to be awkward to put in? Is that what's going to happen here? Because of the ruddy model. Ugh. There we go. Got ya. Beep, beep, doo, doo, doo. That is another skull. There we go. And there we have it. We have our 5 Vindictors. And we have 5 more Vindictors. Are you the Iron Wolf on there, Lupus Furious? What blue contrast would you say to use for gemstones, and would you still do it over Retributor armor? I think for blue gemstones, Talisar blue or Frostheart works really well. As for putting it over Retributor armor, it can work. It gets a little bit more green though, because you're introducing blue to a yellow. So sometimes it's easier just to put a little bit of Stormhost Silver over it first, and then apply either Frostheart or Talisar Blue. But they all work. Like Achillean Green works, Croxagore Scales works, Assaman Blue works. The only ones that don't really work for gems are Ultramarines Blue, Leviathan Blue, Celestian Blue, because they're a bit dark, you see. So if you don't want to have to highlight them. I want Josh dancing and singing TikToks. He doesn't even answer his reels on Instagram. No, because if I sit... I've told you this. If I sit and answer every reel that you guys send me, I will not get anything done. I've got you, Adam, and Joe all sending me reels at once. Alice sends me reels as well. If I get 30 of them in a day, that's half an hour. Why do you think AOS gets such a bad rap? I have been into 40k, which is clearly the favourite GW game, but I don't get why AOS is hated. I would love to build a proper army and the models are epic. AOS gets a bad rap, Chapter Master Joe, because it replaced Old World, and it wasn't done. It didn't replace Old World very well. It didn't do a very good job. We're going to do these as well because we have time. We have 15 minutes. So it didn't do a very good job of replacing the Old World because it was built on the bones of the Old World, you see. And they didn't initially launch it with points or anything like that, which was also a problem. So it was a bit of a joke because it had a bit of this. It had some kind of tongue-in-cheek rules in it as well. So things like how you could, if you could roll a 13 on 2 dice, and you were playing a Tzeentch, you won the game. Stuff like that. So it didn't arrive to much great fanfare, and everyone was just really mad about it being the replacement for Warhammer Fantasy. Warhammer Fantasy obviously got end times, and when it happened, it was done very quickly after the last book came out, so didn't even really have enough time to sit with the fact that it was gone. And you know, first impressions are everything. At this point, though, it's a little bit silly to still be hating on it. Because, you know, that's all now in the past, and also Old World is back. But it needed to be done because 40k was just vastly outselling AOS. Warhammer Fantasy. Like, it wasn't even close. Do you think it will be overshadowed / forgotten with the return of Old World? No, absolutely not. No, I think AOS, I think it only serves to I think what you'll see happen is I think you'll see AOS's sales actually go up because people are weird, right? If you set out your stalls saying I hate this thing and I will never engage in it, and it's because of this reason. Once that reason goes away, people go, "Oh, well, maybe now I can finally actually allow myself to investigate this thing," and then maybe they'll be that's 4 people expressing their love for you and their love for reels. So I think you'll actually see AOS continue to go from strength to strength, because it is fundamentally its own thing now. I think 40k could have actually done with being end timesed a little bit, is my theory. They could have seriously redrawn the maps, as it were. You know what's really funny, Adam? And Rich? Is when you, Joe, when the three of you all send me the exact same one. Also, guys, look where my phone is right now. It's here. I'm using it to film the bloody stream. Hot take: the Emperor should die in 40k. Yeah, Lord Billy, that kind of thing. I'm down for that. Kill him off, redraw the map, move the timeline forward, make everything really horrible, make it super grimdark. You've got space now to bring in new factions. Maybe you've got space to bring in new factions of like humans doing new things. Put us in a time of old night, that type of thing. Give us a universe where there is an absence of the Emperor, to then have him return, as Katara says, he can be reborn as a perpetual, or as a more godlike being that's more esoteric. There is so much that you could do in that setting to move things forward. But there needs to be, like, you need to seriously change the boundaries of what 40k is, and at the moment they are stuck right up against the boundary of there is the explored universe and we already know everything that's in it. So when you just go, oh yeah, look, here's the, like, everyone complained about the Leagues of Votan thing being like, everyone thought they died, but actually they were just in the galactic core. So a planet of theirs died, but they were actually all just here all this time. So they never actually went away. And it's like, oh, okay. Cool. So that's essentially the, oh no, it's been here the whole time narrative again. So are we going to do that again? We're going to do that with more? Is it more interesting to have the wolf time, the end times, the big fight, the one that comes along that's supposed to be the final battle of all big battles? Is it more interesting to have that be a super catalytic thing where you install a number of different sort of faction leaders, basically, to make them more disparate? In a post-Emperor universe, galaxy. At the moment, what you have in 40k is you have a couple of really cool settings that don't move anywhere. So you have the War for Armageddon. It's at 2 minutes to midnight. You have all of these, you have so many different, like, battle zones where everything is just, like, the clocks are stopped at 2 minutes to midnight. It's just this endless draw. And it's like, just conclude some. And, like, you think of the Gathering Storm. The Gathering Storm was epic because it concluded a conflict, and then there was massive ramifications for the galaxy. Gathering Storm was so good. You had a Primarch return, you had the fracturing of a craft world, you had the destruction of Cadia. Huge things happened, and the whole story moved forward, and it was great. And then since then, it's just sat still. But here's a new battlefront. The Chaos Space Marines are attacking, sir. Quick, pour endless manpower munitions into the area. We must hold them to a stalemate. And the Chaos Space Marines are like, oh, we were winning, but... like, you know, can't be asked anymore, so see you later. Bye. Okay, cool. I guess that's the end then. So now Vigilus is permanently ablaze? Has Vigilus been concluded at all? No, Vigilus was just, we don't have Acadia. The Gathering, what was it called? Psychic Awakening? That was a series of books where nothing happened. My favourite thing about Psychic Awakening, right? Psychic Awakening was Blood of Baal. Because in the Blood of Baal, they were finally able to... because, like, for ages, the Blood Angels have been squaring off against the Tyranids, and it's like, you know, Baal has been in trouble for a long time, and then they resolved it in the devastation of Baal. They resolved the conflict. The Blood Angels won. They defeated the Tyranids at great cost to the Sons of the Blood. So what did they do in Blood of Baal? What are they doing in Blood of Baal? What were they doing in Psychic Awakening? What are the Blood Angels still doing to this day? They're still fighting Tyranids in the Red Scar. Nothing has changed for the Blood Angels. They spend Blood of Baal heading out into the Red Scar to fight Tyranids. And they win one. They lose one, and one is a draw. You know, what were the Dark Angels doing until... and this is where it gets really confusing, because the Dark Angels have just had a huge monumental thing happen to them. But there's been no consequence of it. It's not like the Lion returning then heralded 10th edition, and then in 10th edition we got like new risen Dark Angels. It's not like the Dark Angels led the next led the Leviathan box. Instead, the conclusion of it was the Lion returns and Vashtor is up to no good. Okay. But we knew he was up to no good. He's a chaos boy. Oh, but it could have dire consequences for the rest of the galaxy. I bet it won't. Unpopular opinion, Tyranids are a really boring faction narrative-wise, and the sooner 10th edition is done, they need to disappear for a while. I completely agree with you, Tundra. The Tyranids become a fascinating narrative device when they actually pose a threat. But they don't. So, I'm going to liken them now to the Flood in Halo. You have the conflict between mankind and the Covenant, right? That's all going on. That's a thing. And then they are presented with the prospect of the Flood in the first one, and that's a big problem for everyone. And you think of it like as the story progresses anyway, eventually the Covenant and all that come together to fight the Flood, etc., etc. So the Tyranids become a fascinating narrative device. If the Tyranids become such a problem that actually you have to have a situation where, I don't know, who's reasonable? The Iron Warriors, right? Okay, so here's the thing. What if you have the Iron Warriors recognize that this is an actual problem, and so the Iron Warriors are like, we're here to help, but we hate you. But at the moment, the Tyranids just represent this big problem for the Imperium alone to deal with. So the rest of the galaxy is just like, yeah, I mean, they're an issue, but you know, who cares? So how do the Tyranids affect the Eldar? How do they affect the Orcs? How do they affect the Necrons? Who's involved? How do they affect the Chaos Space Marines? They don't. And like, they don't present a threat to the galaxy. They present a threat to the Imperium, and everyone else is a threat to the Imperium. And fundamentally, every time the Imperium has found a way to get over the Tyranids thing. There's a reason we're in the 4th Tyrannic War or whatever. Yeah, it's because 1, 2, and 3, the Imperium solved the problem. So they're going to do it again in 3 years' time. They'll come up with something that just, like, deals with it. But not fully, because we have to have some draws going on all over the place. Exactly. 40k fans agree with Josh's opinion but hate AOS. Changed my mind. I mean, you're not wrong. AOS is rubbish. There's no lore. There is. There's quite a lot. It's just new and developing. Necrons need to be involved more. Wasn't Zarek supposed to be scared enough by Tyranids to come back from exile? Yeah, apparently. Except what's he doing? The last time we heard about what Zarek was doing, he was knobbing about in the Pariah Nexus, building a weapon to blow up the universe. It's like, okay, cool. That's all he's doing. So it's like, okay. I see where you're coming from, Peter. The thing for me is that the story should affect the game and the miniature releases. So, like, here's an example. Say Vashtor is successful in all of his schemes and becomes another Chaos God. And thus you have demonic souls that flock to his cause, whatever. If you think of the design of Vashtor is a demon with a lot of demonic engine stuff going on. So what if there's a new race, a new kind of selection of demons that are more mechanical in nature, like the corrupted machines and this, that, and the other, and amalgams of crazy machinery, and all of that then gets models, and it becomes its own separate thing, or it's part of Codex Chaos Demons or whatever. Instead, you get Vashtor, who's part of the Chaos Space Marines book, because there's a couple of demon engines there, and he's also not really useful where he is. FEC lore and new models. Oh, I think they're amazing. Stainless Steel 02. Any predictions for the Vegas reveals? Maybe Korgus Cool, Demon Prince lol. Maybe. We'll see what happens. I suspect we might see a Stormcast. Maybe one. Maybe two. We'll see what happens. 40k wise, no idea. Probably an orc. Probably the only orc that we're going to get. And it will be a redesign of a captain, like Captain Badruck or something. Probably the new custodian for 40k. Yeah, might see him. We'll probably get an announcement on what the next codex... I mean, we know that the next codex after this is going to be orcs. They did tell us that already, so that's not far away. Yeah. Either way, I think we'll see something for AOS. I think we'll see something big because they're going to have to... They'll be announcing... I think there's one... I think there's one or two, maybe, new... what they call books. Dawnbringers books. Left to go. So I think we'll see something for that. To support that. Maybe another faction leader or something. Or the beginnings of a new faction, who knows. It's a little bit late in the day, but you can never know. New edition of AOS. Yeah, so I think we'll see one, maybe two models from that box. Dawnbringer, yeah. On its way at Vegas. I'm not sure if I'm going to stream along because it kicks off here at 5 AM, so it means we'll finish at 6 AM, which will be brr. When do the old world boxes arrive? Theoretically, this weekend. They go. It was a 2-week pre-order, so you should get them this very shortly. We're going to jump off in 7 minutes. So if anyone has any important questions to ask, please do so now. If you have a like to donate to the stream, please also do that now. That would be very kind of you. And of course, if you would like to become a member, so you can get us closer to our 969, that would also be very kind of you. Joshua and Adam in the morning. Nights. That was quite a productive Me Time Monday. How are the Tomb Kings treating you? Cameron, if you didn't see it earlier... Hang on, I'll go back onto the overhead. This is what I've been working on. He's nearly there. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more things to do on him. And they're all pretty much on him. That's where we're at. We finished off the gold at the beginning of the stream. Oh yeah, Young Josh's music. You want to hear a song from Young Josh? Okay. My wife is watching. Yeah, I can see that, Edward. Okay. I can give you one song from when I was a child. This was 2006 or 7. Let's go with let's just do this one. They're not great quality. Also, Adam, thank you very much for the 5 gifted memberships. It's very kind of you, Sam. Did I just say son? It's very kind of you, sir. Just me singing. I wasn't playing any instruments on this. These feelings rise up in my gut. I can't remember what it was like. I want so much to open up your soul. I need someone to look and care of mine. Promise me you'll be happy just for me. Just for me. I don't think I can get up there anymore. 16 years old. Maybe I can. There you go. When I was a very, very young child. Next time out, I'll give you some of this from when I was in university. And this is when I was a bass player, but I didn't sing on this one. But yes, that'll be for another time. But there you go. And then eventually, that needs to be the video outro music. Daniel, awesome job on the Tomb Prince. Hopefully you paint more Tomb Kings. There you go, Daniel. I'm doing the biggest Tomb King of all. It's on its way. Anyway. Maybe eventually I'll just bring a guitar upstairs and I'll just play for you. I'll figure out a way to get it into the computer, and that way we can balance it rather than it cutting the mic out every 5 seconds, which is what it'll do. And I'll do things like I'll just play a bunch of Bruce Springsteen covers at you. Just for the fun of it. Anyway, guys, it is 7:30. We've been streaming for 2 hours and 15 minutes. So thank you very much for joining me on Me Time Mondays. This is Me Time Monday Part 2. What would you recommend I buy first to start Age of Sigmar? You can get one of the little Harbinger sets. There's a little starter set with some Stormcast and some Gut Rippers. That's a really good place to start because it can give you an introduction to the game. Sing the Sharp song again. There's 14 shillings on the drum for those who volunteered to come. Enlist to fight the foe today, over the hills and far away. I'm not sure I can remember the lyrics properly. O'er the hills and o'er the main, through Flanders, Portugal and Spain, King George commands and we obey, over the hills and far away. There you go. Very, very strange thing for me to do now with my platform, but that is what we're doing now. This is Me Time Mondays. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. Really great time. Invigorated for the week. We will be back on Wednesday with another live stream. Our usual scheduled programming, although this is part of our scheduled programming now. We're back on Wednesday with another live stream. We'll be back on Thursday with a painting video, and we'll be back on Saturday with another painting video. And I may well live stream the LVO Open, depending on whether or not I can get to bed early and I wake up, or if I just stay up. So the People Have Spoken Good Morning Miniatures is on. All right, well, I'll be very tired. Anyway, I will see you all very, very soon in the next one. Have a good one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. I'm going to wave at you now. Bye. Bye for now. Bye. 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 Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye.